This is TWiT.
What is Unicode and who are these people and why is this a big deal?
I mean, Unicode's been around like 25 years
It started with ASCII. Remember ASCII, the American standard for communication interchange or something?
Yeah, and it turned out what happens if you've got characters that Americans didn't build into their computer.
Cyrillic, Arabic. Yeah. You could only have 256 characters because it was an 8-bit code. So Unicode is 32-bit.
And now, well, there's a whole bunch of blocks, 64-bit blocks. So you've got millions. You've got millions. There's no limit. Every block is huge. So you've got 64-bit per block. So we've got unlimited, as many as you need.
So it's almost like the segmented memory in the Intel architecture. You trigger a block.
There's so many blocks available. We can have as many emojis as you want. The issue is really just how do you pick them?
Don't say that.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Because the whole reason there's a battle over emojis is scarcity. But if you could have any emoji you want, I know why the issue. Apple, Twitter, Facebook, and Google, all the companies have to have their own images. Yeah. So you don't want a million emojis.
And you don't supply those images. They're designers, or they have to hire designers to make every new emoji on every platform.
Every new one, and they need to come up with a UI to pick it that's not insane.
Right.
All these autocomplete.
It's already insane. When I go through my emoji picker, and it's just like I can't even, just the smiley faces.
Yeah. Well, Google's replacing its little thumb emojis now with normal round faces, right?
The gumdrops are gone.
Gumdrops are gone. Yeah. People, I mean, they got a bit of backlash, but really I think it's the minority. Like, people kind of went out and said, we love the gumdrops, bring them back, but really I think most users just want it to look like iOS.
Does the emoji subcommittee keep track of emoji use, like which emojis are popular, who uses them, things like that?
Yeah, that's a pretty big part of any proposal. If you want to put together a new emoji proposal, it's pretty important to say, is this even a category that's used? If you suggest a symbol, it's probably not going to get up because nobody uses the symbols.
Right.
So you want to say, this is a new face or this is a new gesture, and look at all these other gestures. They're used so much, so therefore this one has at least a chance.
Interesting. Yeah. You also have to make it international.
Food, that happens a lot with food, where the initial set of food emojis were very specific.
They were Japanese.
And exactly right. And so now we're starting to see that spread around where you get a taco and a burrito.
It out, right.
Exactly.
Is there any new food on the way?
Yeah, I mean, this year the new list, I don't know whether anyone's got the new list coming up, but mango is a big one on the new food.
Mango. Everybody loves mangoes, right?
So that's, I know when they did the stats on that, the proposal for the mango shows comparison to other fruits. So
now before you scroll by that, go back a little bit, Brian. So this is an image that is kind of the reference image, or proposed image?
I mean, it's just an example. This is just whoever proposed the emoji. That you have to show that it can be drawn.
And then there's this text description as well, right?
Right. You want to make the case to say, look, here's roughly what it looks like. Because if you couldn't draw it in the first place, then it's not even going to get considered, right? If you came up with a theoretical concept,
abstract concept. Yeah.
Are there other fruit emojis now? I mean, is mango being left out? Is there a durian emoji?
No.
There's is there a kiwi fruit?
Yeah, kiwi fruit got added last year, so that's there. So we've been fleshing out. I mean, fruits are a bit easier because you can see stats on consumption.
The apple is probably the most popular in North America.
Right, there's like sales figures, you can go into all this stuff, whereas when you get to faces, it's difficult. I really like, actually, I don't know whether it's on there, but there's one for a bone.
A what?
A bone emoji.
Bone emoji?
Yes.
It's like a dog bone.
And I really like that. They got some stats on
it. Oh, 2000C, you got to show it in action.
There's an ape with a bone.
And you've got expected usage level, which is fun. But then
this is what a proposal looks like. This is what
a proposal looks like. This one's by Jane Solomon from dictionary.com. I saw, and she's got some great, statistics on different metaphors. And
I agree with her. A bone would be good.
So this is fun. Boning is a euphemism.
Can anybody submit a proposal like this, or in practice is it a very specific group of people who submit these?
In practice, it's a specific group of people, but anyone can. It's just a lot of effort. You saw that.
Right.
There's graphs. You need to make an argument for it, and you can't just say, hello, I would like this emoji.
Right. So the people who want that hiking emoji need to prove their case if they want a hiker to go alongside the walker.
Because there's already a walker.
Yeah.
What do you need a hiker for? There's already a walker.
The thing you don't want to do, a lot of people find the least popular emoji and go, this is better than that. But that doesn't convince anyone. No. Don't show us an unpopular emoji and say it's better. Find a popular one.
We can all agree that mountain tramway is not widely loved.
Right.
That's a hangover from Japan.
Yes, there's mountain tramway, there's mountain railway, there's monorail, there are so many, and it's because of lots of railways.
Railway.
Exactly right. So one of the big stories in emoji recently has been modifiers. So the idea that a lot of occupations that used to be one gender or another can now be switched around.
I think you said Google had a big hand in that.
Yeah, Google was one. There were different proposals, but Google was the one that really just came to the table with images, with the whole set to go, look, we want to introduce genders and new professions that also support genders.
And now we also have different skin shades, which is a really important thing.
Yep.
And one of the cool things about how this is put together for nerds who care about this stuff, which I do, is the way it works in Unicode is you have a symbol and then a modifier. So instead of having a male astronaut and a female astronaut, you have an astronaut and then a gender modifier, and then the operating system goes, oh, I know what image to put here.
Right.
Which is cool.
And except confusingly, when you look at some of them, they're done in different ways. But yeah, effectively.
And on different platforms, the default is different.
Oh, so now we have a woman levitating, not just a guy.
This one is out of Unicode spec. Facebook did this in their most recent update. That for whatever reason.
It's like Amy Winehouse floating.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. They don't need to stick to the spec for this because they have just made a female version.
attaché case, a briefcase.
No, so
that has always been the weirdest emoji. Is this guy with the briefcase just floating away?
And it goes back to the history in Japan of the.
No, that one is from Webdings.
That's Webdings because they wanted to match Webdings.
There's a whole
Webdings
story
font.
about
That's
where
right.
it came from in Webdings. I don't remember if it was Magritte. There was a painting or something. That
It's based on this logo from Two Tone Records, and it's a floating man.
So here's the big question, which is, can emoji die?
What?
Can we kill ones that we don't like? Can I get rid of the no bicycle sign emoji, or are we stuck with it forever?
I mean, a year or two ago, I think it was Apple proposed, can we sort of have two tiers, like a recommended tier and a not recommended tier?
Because they don't want to do illustrations for everyone.
Or you might want to simplify your picker, right? And take out the mountain
That's
tramway.
a big problem on Apple, actually. I mean, now we have screen after screen of emojis.
I mean, they could do that without Unicode. Unicode sort of is like, nah, where are we going to draw the line? Like, you get rid of the bottom 10, sure.
Yeah, but Apple doesn't want to take the heat for dropping that one emoji that one person really loves.
Samsung, though, do some weird. I mean, Samsung have dropped, you know, the two cross-Japanese flags?
Yeah.
They drop that in and out of builds in different countries. Some countries get that. So they've got sort of anti-Japanese sentiments.
Well, this goes to the case of emoji fragmentation, which we've talked about before, which is that one of the problems with emoji is if they're not represented the same way across platforms, you can have total breakdowns where one person thinks they're saying one thing.
Samsung's notorious for that.
And the recipient's like, what are you talking about?
Well, this was a big deal with the gun. Remember, Apple changed the gun to a toy gun,
water pistol.
And people said, well, that's not going to be good because what if you send in a message with the water pistol? Come to the park and bring your... And
water
it
pistols
turned
are
out
gone.
that it was a water pistol on iOS, but it was a real gun on Android. That wouldn't be
look
so
at this.
good.
This on Samsung. I've got the cookie. The cookie looks like a saltine cracker on Samsung's. This this is Cookie Monster.
Is that cultural?
Well, everyone else does a cookie, but yeah, Cookie Monster very excited about World Chocolate Day, saying, "Hey everyone, it's World Chocolate Day. Here's my favorite emoji."
But if you're on a Galaxy S8,
Samsung,
you've got a bunch of saltines.
Everyone sees this, but on Samsung they got a bit of that, so that's problematic. They've got all these weird ones, and Facebook, obviously, we saw before they do their own set.
So it's a communications medium. You want it to be useful.
It really is. This is from Facebook. 60 million emojis sent on Facebook every day. 60 million, 5 billion sent on Messenger every single day.
So everybody's got their own emoji. Is there any hope that one day you are on a subcommittee of a consortium? Could all of these groups get together and say, look, we'll give you some money, hire a designer, make some emoji that all of us will agree to use, right? Standard graphics, not just the standard
graphics. I mean, where's the incentive, right? Like, if you're Apple, do you want to share your iconic images? And if you're, maybe the other platforms might want to, but I don't think.
I like Apple's images. Apple's the best, in my opinion.
If you're Apple, you probably don't care because at this point, most people perceive. I think most people perceive the emoji in terms of Apple style, and a lot of other styles are evolving to match Apple. It's rare that I see something that's totally different, and Google is going that direction.
So you're on your way up to the meeting, which is going to be where, in Seattle this year?
Seattle, Microsoft is hosting.
So you must have prepared. What emojis are you going to be looking at? What are some of the requests for this new emoji crop?
So a lot of the stuff that's coming out, I was looking at Emojipedia. We compile a list of what people request.
You're from Emojipedia, which is,
so we have our own set that we'll put together. There's what's called Italian kissy face chef. It's like, mwah, beautiful.
Oh, that's good.
So people like that.
I like that. I would go for
There's
that.
also the,
I know we're gonna...
why you know...
Oh, yeah. Don't start doing Italian hand gestures, because that is going to be a real problem.
They're always very popular.
Yeah. Well, you know...
And the fragmentation, you could have a horrible
Brazil,
misunderstanding.
It means something completely different. Yeah.
So they're some of the ones that people want, that they kind of request of us. Flags are tricky. We're always getting requests for different flags that, you know...
There's only 220 nations. Just put all the flags in.
The English and Scottish flags should be coming in this
year,
fall,
and
right?
Welsh flag, right? Because they're sort of
and
technically
Welsh.
the
Sorry,
subdivision.
Wales.
Sorry, Wales. Yeah. They're a subdivision, but then you got U.S. states that technically now could be on the list.
Right, you could have a California flag.
Redheads?
Redheads. I've put in a proposal for.
Redheads?
So we spent 2 years talking about redheads.
Can't that be a modifier?
Well, that's the thing. We had this proposal last year talking about hair color modifiers, but I guess there was some pushback. Like, do you want to apply a hair tone to everything? Do you want to have every emoji have 5 hair tones?
Because at some point, if you're the art director who has been hired by Apple to do all that, you are looking at thousands of pieces of art that then also need to be stored.
Oh,
in the
I like the bubble
system.
pipe. Is that what that is?
So these are some of the most popular ones requested from Emojipedia users.
It's called Party Face.
Party Face. That's the kissy chef face there.
I kind of like that, although I think at that size it's kind of hard to figure out what the hell is going on.
It's a bit complicated. I think it's fun, but yeah, the heart hand, people love hearts. Like, it doesn't matter how many hearts we have, people always want a different way to do a heart.
But how would you do a heart hand emoji? Would you?
Well, you could do that.
Just draw hands.
Draw hands making a heart.
Making a heart.
Yeah, that would be popular.